Some people aren't going to like this, and they probably shouldn't, because if it goes down, it's going to catch a ton of people off guard. We have an analyst from Standard Charter that believes the unthinkable will happen with XRP. We're going to dig into it. We have a Messari report with flare updates, quite a bit of news to go over. Let's just jump into it. We see this. Standard Charter analyst predicts XRP will overtake Ethereum by 2028. Now, I'm not saying this is my base case, but the analyst from Standard Charter, pretty serious institution there, believes it's going to happen. Geoffrey Kendrick, global head of digital asset research at Standard Charter, is claiming that XRP could pass Ethereum in market valuation within 3 years. What's his reasoning? Well, number one, legal clarity, and that is important. The first time in history where we're on an even playing field. We've always been at a huge disadvantage in the past. XRP has passed Ethereum in the past. Could it happen again? Well, maybe it's poised to do so here. Number 2 point, utility-driven growth. XRP is being positioned for real-world financial use cases, things like payments, of course, but also RWAs, DeFi, all sorts of growing explosive use cases for XRP. Number 3 reason, Ripple aims to capture a significant amount of SWIFT's market for cross-border payments. And this is the thing. They may actually be able to have significant success now. Clarity is going to help them, but also, bringing that liquidity on chain in the digital realm. It's going to make things more efficient, lower costs. The old system, you had to source that liquidity from exchanges and pay fees. Now, especially with RLUSD, the DEX with AMMs, you're going to be able to source a lot of that liquidity online, bringing those costs down. They may be able to do some damage where in the past they could not. Institutional momentum is building. We're seeing that happen. We're seeing institutions adding XRP to their balance sheet, in their treasury. Institutions getting ready to leverage this technology. XRP is transitioning from a speculative token, and I don't like that phrase actually, to an infrastructure asset. Yeah, it is becoming more of an infrastructure asset. But in the realm of cryptocurrencies, XRP has really always been a utility-based token. It's just that utility is growing in a significant manner. It's not been as speculative as much within this space. Lastly, XRP isn't trying to catch Ethereum in hype. It's being positioned as the rails for global finance. So that's the report. You can go over to my X and actually click on the whole thing here. But, Standard Charter, they're serious. Their head of global digital asset research thinks we got a shot here. And it doesn't have to happen. XRP could be number 3, and we're still going to make piles of cash, ridiculous amounts of money. Wouldn't be my base case because there's a lot going on in Ethereum still. Big stuff. But could it happen? You betcha it could happen. And Standard Charter thinks it just may. We see this. SEC has delayed its decision on Franklin Templeton's spot XRP ETF, asking for public feedback. I gave Hester Peirce and the SEC my feedback today. Approve this thing. Let's get it going. It's time. You don't need any more public feedback. It is time to see that ETF, that spot ETF for XRP be approved, and I think it will. Messari, they put up this report covering Flare and saying also, attack on, not only is Flare doing big things, but this is a game changer for XRP. So this is just another way where we see XRP, not just sitting in wallets, being put in motion in a productive manner. They said the following: we've been tracking layer 1 innovation closely, but Flare might be the most underestimated DeFi story of this year. I think as we progress, things are going to heat up. I think in general, crypto is going to go through another growth boom. And in that type of environment, at just the right time, I think we will see Flare perform, my opinion. What if XRP could go finally into the DeFi market in a significant way, without giving up custody, without relying on centralized bridges? That's what Flare's trying to deliver, and that's big, and they're doing a whole lot more than that. Flare's architecture, of course, has native tools like FTSO oracles, FTC cross-chain validators, making it purpose-built for verifiable data and interoperability. Data, interoperability, those are the 2 big needs within blockchain, and Flare's trying to deliver that with really novel solutions here, important solutions, valuable solutions. TVL tripled in 13 days when we saw Tether brought on chain. Launched on Flare via Layer 0, within 2 weeks, TVL surge past 120 million, injecting critical stablecoin liquidity into the ecosystem. That's the type of liquidity that's really going to make this blockchain useful and liquid and really help its utility come to life, in my opinion. Beyond, it's not just XRP, of course, we're bringing in Bitcoin, Doge, and a whole lot more. This is going to be a lively ecosystem, according to Messari. They also point out Songbird. We're talking about real economic testing, institutional demand, much like XRP. It's building. We saw Vivo Power deploying 100 million in XRP on Flare, trying to earn yield. Uphold also exploring solutions here as well. Major XRP holder looking, how can we use Flare to earn a yield? Liquid staking is coming as well. Through Firelight Protocol, users will be able to stake FXRP and receive STXRP, a liquid yield-bearing token. This would be kind of like Ethereum, but for XRP, where you can do that restaking. Bottom line, the Messari report, what it says, Flare is rewriting the rules for how XRP fits into the crypto economy. It's not just a bridge, it's an infrastructure play that can finally bring XRP in the DeFi mainstream. And for the XRP investor, we have Flare, we have the sidechain, Cardano's looking to integrate XRP. There's a lot going on, and it's exciting. And I think, again, a lot of people are worried Flare hasn't got going yet. I just don't think it's time. When we are at this part of the cycle and you have, Cardano under $1 and just a lot within altcoins just not performing yet, it's just not time. You have to see this space heat up. But when it does, I think Flare is going to be a big-time performer. President Trump demanding Congress pass the stablecoin bill as soon as possible, stating, get it on my desk now. No delays, no add-ons. The Senate, they just passed the Genius Stablecoin Act, and President Trump is now pushing for the House to move lightning fast, get it on his desk. A bill to establish clear rules for U.S. stablecoins. This is going to be huge, especially for companies like Ripple and Circle. They can work with the heavy hitters and start integrating this next level technology into traditional finance. And this could position the U.S. as the undisputed leader in digital assets and protect USD's dominance globally. Do I really care if the U.S. is the number one leader? No. I just don't want us to be the worst market in the world. It's a big market. Great. Bring us up, to a high level here. But really, why you see the government supporting this technology now is it's going to do exactly that. It's going to push the dollar far and wide and expand its reach. And that's why you really see the government now saying, hey, we like this technology, because they like the idea of being able to zip dollars into any territory they want, and there's no way to stop it. It's going to be huge. This is interesting. Sweden, they're rethinking its cashless future. They've been really moving away from cash. And after years moving towards that cashless future, Sweden is pumping the brakes a little bit. The reason it might surprise you here, Russia-Ukraine war has exposed the fragility of a fully digital system. Sweden is now warning citizens to keep some physical cash on hand in case of cyber attacks and infrastructure attacks. War and cyber threaten this equation, this idea of a totally cashless future. And then how can crypto solve this? Well, you have people saying, you know what? Ethereum, other blockchains such as this could allow preloaded balances and secure offline transactions locally. Think of zero-knowledge proofs, NFC hardware wallets, resilient cryptography. So maybe you don't have exactly cash, physical cash, but a card that you can do crypto transactions even if the internet is down. We have to think of these solutions because, look, networks sometimes are going to go down. Maybe they're up, but you won't have access to reach those networks. This is serious. And so maybe blockchain can kind of still solve that problem in a cashless society in terms of physical cash, but you can still do offline transactions. Could be really important. VanEck, their Solana ETF, had its ticker issued, VSOL. Inclusion of this typically signals back-end preparations in anticipation of a green light by the US SEC, so SOL looks like it's getting ready to go. Bloomberg analyst predicts a 90% chance of approval in 2025. I bet you it's higher than that. And I've said it before. Maybe it's Solana first. Maybe it's XRP. Maybe it's simultaneous. I don't really care. Just start getting these things across the finish line because we know all the major altcoins, they're going to get there. They're going to get an ETF soon enough. It's not that important who's next, just that they start making progress in approving these altcoin ETFs. It's going to happen really quick. Visa and MasterCard, they dropped 5% today after reports that Amazon and Walmart and others are looking at stablecoins, just as the Genius Act is getting ready to get across the finish line here. And stablecoins, they can cut payment costs by up to 85%, bypassing card networks entirely. This is my question to you. Yes, stablecoins are be huge, but when we talk about replacing cards, I like my cards. They give me consumer protection. I have a little bit of time before I have to pay it off. Even when you pay it off every month, you have that lag. So as a consumer, why do I really want to move, totally away from credit cards? Again, don't run a balance, don't pay interest, but there's a lot of benefits for the consumer. Now, the business, you get killed with all these merchant fees, but for the consumer, it's going to be hard to move us off of those cards for sure. But there's a lot of use cases that stable coins, I think, will fit the bill there and be very, very popular. Last, ZhaoDAO. We're starting to get some growth. It was just started to launch information on this, the first DAO for the XRP ledger. It's up to 1,200 followers now. If you're interested in one of the most, important projects launching on the XRPL, leveraging the side chain, there'll be a link down below, both in the description and in the pinned comment. Give them a follow there on X, because I'm telling you, this is going to be a big one. You're going to want to see what they have being released here shortly. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.